Good morning, folks. It is January 22nd, 2025, and I am headed to work. And I'm just sitting here and I've been thinking about what it means to receive messages from the universe. I posted on my Medium page this morning one of the Rick Rubin quotes that he said. Basically, some of the things that he was saying is just like, you can receive messages from the universe from anywhere, and when you look at the universe as almost like a conveyor belt that is like constantly rotating gifts and trying to deliver these gifts to you, then you're more able to receive those gifts. It's just all about your perception. And there's like, I have a lot of different thoughts there, and there's a lot of things different things to unpack. But I think the fact of the matter is, like, we are portals. Like, when people call different people that do like divination and people that are psychics or whatever, they call them mediums. You're called a medium for a reason. Like, you are a tool, you are a vessel, you are a open channel for the universe to be able to communicate through us. And I just think it's interesting how it's just interesting that like the same tools that you use in order for you to become more mentally healthy are really pretty much the same tools that you would use in order for you to open up your mind and your consciousness for universal messages and God consciousness to move through you. So like, I don't know, let's start from here. Like, what does it mean to be an open channel? It means that you are not clouding your thoughts and your ear and your attention with anxious thoughts, with you propelling yourself into the future and just like being like freaking out about what's happening in the future, or you like reminiscing about things that happened in the past, especially things that you didn't enjoy that happened in the past, traumatic events. Like, when you're putting your attention on those things, then that's just what it is. You're just focusing all of your energy and your thought space and your mental energy and your conscious energy on things that literally don't matter. So you basically just create this big old block that keeps you from being able to receive universal messages. But when you are focusing on being present, then it allows for you to be an open channel. It allows for you to clear the highway. All of that traffic is gone. You become a clear and open highway for universal consciousness to deliver messages to you. And how does universal consciousness deliver messages to you? The messages are delivered to you everywhere. Literally everywhere. Any which way that you look or pay attention, consciousness can be delivering messages to you. But I do not think you're going to receive messages by propelling yourself in the past or like thinking about and stressing about the future. Like, you're not going to get messages there. You're going to get messages in the eternal present. So like, if you're just like walking around operating on a regular basis and you overhear somebody having a conversation, how do you not know that the messages aren't for you? How do you not know that the people, while they're having a conversation with each other, that you are not a part of the receiver of whatever messages is coming out of that? I just think if we're operating under the assumption that we create our universe and we are the full creator and controller of our reality, and on top of that what you pay attention to, like, you are inside of a participatory universe, meaning that the only things that exist are the things that are inside of your vantage point, that are inside of your perspective, what you see. That's the only thing that exists. So if we operate under the pretense of the assumption that we are inside of a participatory universe and the universe only creates what we see, then then everything is for you. All of the messages around you, or all of the things that are happening around you, are for you. And you also have to operate under the assumption that life is happening for you and not to you. So if we're operating under all of those assumptions, then yes, you can receive universal messages anywhere. And I think that's what's so cool about spirituality, is that just literally when you are learning about all of the different modalities and the different mediums and the different esoteric learnings and stuff like that, like color therapy and numerology and astrology and tarot and Jungian psychology and archetypes, and you're learning about all of these different things, it's literally teaching you the language of the universe, because the universe speaks to you through everything. So when you're learning about all of these esoteric things, what you're trying to understand is, if I'm looking at something and it has a particular color, or something catches my attention and it has a particular color, or it reminds me of a particular tarot card, or it reminds me of a scene from a movie, what is the message that I'm supposed to be receiving? Because like, though all of these esoteric teachings are really just trying to teach you the language. Eventually, once you get really good at like reading things and understanding things and understanding like the universal message that, or the archetypal messages that are behind things, then you don't have to think about it so much. That's how people become psychics. That's how people get to the point where they can just talk to you and they can just read you, and they just know what's going on in your life, or how to fix what's happening inside of your life, or you know what's the next step, or how to stop this karmic cycle and whatever else. Like, when you learn all of this stuff, it makes you just like, it's just like when you learn English. Like, when I have a conversation with you, I'm not thinking about the words, I'm just talking. We're just having a conversation. I'm just thinking thoughts and all this stuff. I'm not thinking about the words and the meanings and all this stuff. It just all happens naturally. So it's the same thing as when you're operating in your external reality. But in order for you to get to that point, the first thing that you have to do is open yourself to receiving messages and understand that the universe and God consciousness is speaking to you all the time. And I don't know if I posted the video or I recorded it before, but one thing that I keep telling myself is, the universe is my best friend. I hang out with the universe all the time. That's my homie. We spend a lot of time together. That's my bestie. And I know that. I know the universe is around me all the time. I know God is with me everywhere that I go. So when you are operating in that way, then it's easy for you to feel like you're receiving messages everywhere. When you're having a conversation with somebody, it doesn't just feel like a regular conversation. It feels like you're talking to God. When you are driving, or when you are watching a movie, or just anything, when you are paying attention, when you are focusing and you are putting your focused energy on anything, you recognize that you see the God consciousness inside of every single thing that you experience inside of your life. Like, when you start operating inside of that way and you start operating on that level, then how can you feel fear? How can you feel fearful of what's happening around you? How can you focus on things that feel like it doesn't align with you? Like, I think I watched a Instagram video yesterday, and they said, what did they say? They said that when you start healing yourself, then you only become attracted to things that are for you. Like, the things that are not for you become ugly. And it also reminds me of something that a young lady that I follow on YouTube said. She was like, everybody, like, it's the beginning of the year and everybody's trying to like eat better and lose weight and this and that and third, but when you heal yourself on a spiritual level, you don't want to eat nasty things. You don't, it's not good for you. You don't have a taste for it anymore. It doesn't taste good. You smell it and it smells like garbage. It's like when I'm trying to think of what animal it is, but like, there's some animals that'll like smell the food, like some of the food that we eat, and they won't even touch it. They're like, ew, that's gross. And I think it's the same way with humans. Like, when you are operating on a different vibration and you are in a healed place, like, the things that aren't aligned with you and the things that don't belong in your life and don't feel right, like, you don't want to pay attention to it. You don't want to listen to news. Like, you don't want to participate in anything inside of the universe that's going to activate fear in you. Like, it just doesn't feel right. It feels silly, and it almost feels boring. Like, I remember I think I recorded a video not too long ago, but I was just saying, like, honestly, like, I get bored when I feel anxious. I'm like, wow, this is silly. Like, this isn't fun. You know what's fun for me? Like, seeing the magic in my life. That's fun. Like, operating inside of a place where I feel like magic can happen at any moment. when I turn on my computer and I'm just like, wow, like, what can happen? What if I just opened up my emails and somebody emailed me and it's like, girl, we just found an unclaimed check for you for $100,000. Like, wouldn't that be cool? That's what I focus on. I don't like focusing my energy in my God conscious energy on things that just don't feel in alignment. Like, that just, to me, it just doesn't resonate anymore. So I'm trying to remember where I was going with that. I think I really was just trying to say, like, when you open yourself as a channel and you recognize that God consciousness is with you and is all around you and is speaking to you through everything, through anything that is a quantum, photon, particle, wave, everything that is operating, all of the energy that is around you, like, God consciousness is playing a part in it. Like, you really feel like, okay, that's my homie. Like, what you got for me today? Like, how are you going to impress me today? How good can it get? Like, that's when life gets exciting. That's when you start feeling like you and God are partners. Like, you guys are working together. And even if you don't feel like God is working on your side, like, you really just have to look at it as a lesson. Like, okay, well, if you're not my homie today, you're my teacher. Like, if things aren't exciting me, then things are teaching me. So what is it that I can learn from what's happening around me? But again, like, you have to open yourself and you have to open your mind and your portal enough and trust the universe enough to deliver these messages to you. I think that's the other thing, is like, that's part of the reason why we are so focused on the past or the future, is because we aren't inside of a trusting state. Like, you have to be trusting that the universe is constantly on your side and is working inside of your favor. Then it allows for you to open your mind and open your attention to pay attention to the signs, pay attention to the messages. And then once you're like in a full state of surrender, then yeah, like, everything becomes easier. Then it's just like, okay, well, we just playing, we just hanging out, like, we're just kicking it. So even though things might feel like, I honestly, and I was thinking about this the other day, like, let me see oh Lord, I've been recording for 12 minutes. I'm gonna wrap this up, guys, because y'all know I ain't trying to go over 15 minutes, because I'm trying to make sure this can upload. What I was gonna say is, like, when you start feeling like and trusting the universe and recognize that everything around you is either a gift or a lesson, or what Rick Rubin says, everything around you is a source of inspiration for artistic expression, however you want to express yourself artistically. When you start looking at life that way, then money is not as interesting as it used to be. Because, like, I'll sit there and I'll be like visualizing and like doing my visualization practices or whatever, and I'm just looking around me and I'm just like, okay, like, what if money is just like falling out of the sky? Like, okay, yeah, that's cool. But then, like, when you just are focusing on that all of the time and you're just like thinking about money, and you're visualizing money all the time, like, that gets boring. It's like, yeah, I can visualize money, but what I'm more interested in visualizing or thinking about or, you know, engaging with is something just like a little bit more interesting than that. Like, what if somebody just like walked up to me and was like, hey, yo, you want a job? Or what if I just woke up one day and one of my videos went viral? Or, like, you stop thinking about things and you stop seeing abundance as just like the material aspect of money, and you start recognizing that abundance can show up inside of your life in a lot of different ways. And I think that also allows for you to have a gateway to gratitude, because when you start recognizing abundance can show up in your life in a multitude of ways, then you start recognizing that abundance has already shown up in this life, inside of your life, in a multitude of ways. So yeah, I think that's all I have for today. I think that's all I have. Like, I'm trying to sit here and think, like, you know, tie this back to the original point, which is that, you know, you can receive lessons and inspiration and really abundance from any place and any source. You just have to open up yourself and allow yourself to be a vessel. And when you allow yourself to do that, then becoming a psychic is nothing. Like, that's the first step. After being a psychic, it's like, okay, me knowing what's about to happen or being able to feel what's about to happen or feeling the signs and seeing the signs, like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but I'm just more interested in hanging out with the universe. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm starting to choke. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Bye.